Charlotte Gainsbourg isn't just a style icon. She's a master of effortless elegance, a woman who embodies that elusive French allure without even trying. There's something about the way she dresses that feels both instinctive and intentional, never fussy, never overdone, and while her aesthetic may seem effortless, there's a quiet precision to it, a deep understanding of proportion, texture, and timeless simplicity. For women over 60, her style offers something even more valuable, a blueprint for confidence, for embracing one's own rhythm rather than chasing trends. Charlotte doesn't dress to impress. She dresses in a way that feels innately true to her, and that authenticity is what makes her style so enduring. She reminds us that fashion isn't about youth or reinvention. It's about refinement, about knowing what works and letting go of the rest. In today's video, we'll explore the elements that define Charlotte Gainsbourg's timeless aesthetic, why it resonates across generations, and how her approach to dressing offers inspiration for cultivating a wardrobe that feels effortless, elegant, and undeniably you. Let's dive in. 1. The art of understated confidence. Charlotte Gainsbourg possesses an inherent ease that makes her style so effortlessly French. It's not just about the clothes she wears, it's the way she carries them, with an air of quiet confidence, never demanding attention yet commanding it all the same. There's an unspoken understanding in her aesthetic, a resistance to excess, an embrace of the natural, a preference for the undone over the overdone. Unlike trends that scream for validation, her wardrobe choices whisper a sense of self-assurance. This is what makes her so compelling. She doesn't dress to impress in the traditional sense. Rather, she dresses as an extension of her personality, creating an authenticity that feels deeply personal. It's the confidence of someone who doesn't need embellishment or extravagant effort to feel complete. 2. The beauty of imperfection. There's an undeniable ease in how Charlotte Gainsbourg approaches fashion, and much of that comes from her embrace of imperfection. It's the deliberate tousle of her hair, the way her clothing never looks too pressed, too polished, or too perfect. This is the essence of a certain French sensibility, an understanding that perfection can be rigid, lifeless even, whereas imperfection breathes personality and allure into an ensemble. Gainsbourg's aesthetic never feels forced or overly curated. She finds beauty in the slight misalignment of a jacket, the effortless slouch of a pair of jeans, the gentle wear on a well-loved leather boot. This embrace of imperfection isn't about sloppiness, it's about allowing clothes to exist naturally, in motion, on a real person, rather than in a carefully controlled display. There's an effortless sensuality to that, a kind of rawness that makes her style feel organic rather than contrived. 3. A mastery of monochrome. Colour is rarely the focal point of Gainsbourg's wardrobe. Instead, she leans into the timeless power of monochrome, particularly in the realm of dark neutrals, black, navy, deep grey. This preference doesn't come from a place of limitation, but rather from a deep understanding of the subtle richness within a well-curated colour palette. There's something undeniably striking about the way she wears black, for instance. Never harsh, never overwhelming, but always with a sense of quiet power. It's not about hiding in darkness, but rather using depth and texture to create dimension. Monochrome dressing, when done right, allows the details to shine, whether it's the precise cut of a jacket, the soft drape of a silk blouse, or the lived-in appeal of a pair of leather boots. Gainsbourg's use of colour, or lack thereof, is a lesson in restraint, proving that simplicity can be just as impactful as extravagance when wielded with intention. 4. The balance of masculine and feminine. What makes Gainsbourg's style so timeless is her masterful balance of masculine and feminine elements. She isn't bound by traditional notions of what women should wear. Rather, she gravitates toward pieces that carry a certain androgynous edge: tailored blazers, relaxed trousers, structured shirts. But within this seemingly masculine foundation, there is always a hint of softness, a whisper of femininity that prevents the look from feeling too rigid or austere. It might be the delicate way a blouse skims the collarbone, the casual roll of a sleeve revealing a slender wrist, or the undone buttons of a shirt creating an air of nonchalance. This push and pull between the structured and the relaxed, the sharp and the soft, is what gives her style its unique tension. She doesn't wear overtly feminine silhouettes, nor does she drown herself in boxy shapes. Instead, she exists in the in-between, a space where masculinity and femininity meet in perfect harmony. 5. Texture as the true luxury. For Gainsbourg, luxury is never about logos or excess. It's about the feel of the fabric, the way it moves with the body, the quiet indulgence of quality. Texture plays a crucial role in her aesthetic, adding depth and richness to even the most minimal of ensembles. Think the soft grain of worn-in leather, the supple drape of cashmere, the crisp structure of a perfectly tailored wool blazer. There's an unspoken language in texture, a way of communicating refinement without the need for embellishment. Gainsbourg understands this implicitly, choosing pieces that speak through their tactile qualities rather than their branding. A simple knit sweater, when made from the right material, holds far more allure than an over-designed statement piece. In her world, luxury is a feeling rather than a display, a quiet indulgence that exists in the realm of touch rather than spectacle. 6. The art of unstudied elegance. There's an uncalculated nature to the way Gainsbourg puts herself together, an effortlessness that suggests she doesn't overthink her outfits, and that's precisely what makes them so compelling. Her wardrobe never feels too deliberate, too coordinated, too polished. Instead, it feels instinctive, as if each piece naturally belongs to her. This is the essence of unstudied elegance, dressing in a way that appears effortless, even if there is a level of consideration behind it. It's not about throwing things together carelessly, but rather about having an innate understanding of what works without needing to fuss over every detail. Her style is a quiet rebellion against overcomplication, a reminder that true elegance isn't about perfection. It's about ease. And that ease comes not from trying to appear effortless, but from actually being effortless in one's choices. 7. A devotion to timelessness over trends. While fashion constantly shifts and reinvents itself, Gainsbourg remains firmly anchored in her own sartorial identity. She doesn't chase trends, nor does she allow her style to be dictated by what's currently in vogue. Instead, she gravitates toward pieces that transcend time, wardrobe staples that hold their own regardless of passing fads. This devotion to timelessness is what makes her style feel so enduring. A well-cut blazer, a perfectly worn-in pair of jeans, a classic button-up shirt. These are the pieces that define her wardrobe, not because they are trendy, but because they are inherently good. By rejecting the pressure to constantly reinvent her aesthetic, she has cultivated a wardrobe that always feels relevant, always feels true. In a world that often prioritizes novelty over longevity, Gainsbourg's steadfast commitment to timeless dressing is a quiet act of resistance. 8. Effortless proportions and fit. Gainsbourg's approach to fit is another defining element of her style, one that leans into the art of proportion rather than adhering to rigid tailoring. She understands the power of a slightly oversized blazer, the ease of relaxed denim, the quiet elegance of a shirt that drapes just so. Her clothing never feels constrictive, yet it never drowns her frame either. There's a delicate balance at play, a mastery of proportions that allows her outfits to feel both nonchalant and intentional. It's in the way she pairs structured pieces with softer ones, the way she allows fabrics to move naturally rather than forcing them into place. Her approach to fit is about allowing clothes to exist in harmony with the body rather than trying to control or alter it. It's a kind of sartorial freedom, one that prioritizes comfort without sacrificing style. 9. The power of consistency. What makes Gainsbourg's style so compelling is its unwavering consistency. She doesn't feel the need to reinvent herself every season, nor does she succumb to the pressure of constant transformation. Instead, she remains true to her aesthetic, refining it over time rather than overhauling it. This consistency is what gives her style its signature quality. It's instantly recognizable, yet never repetitive. There's something deeply alluring about a person who knows themselves so well that they don't feel the need to chase reinvention. In an era that often celebrates reinvention for reinvention's sake, Gainsbourg stands as a reminder that true style isn't about constant change. It's about deepening one's relationship with what already works. Her wardrobe isn't a revolving door of trends. It's a carefully curated extension of who she is, evolving subtly rather than drastically. 10. Style as an extension of self. Perhaps the most defining aspect of Gainsbourg's style is that it never feels like a costume. She doesn't wear clothes to become someone else. She wears them as an extension of who she already is. There's an authenticity to her aesthetic that makes it feel deeply personal rather than performative. She isn't dressing for an audience, nor is she trying to fit into a prescribed image of fashion. Instead, she simply exists in her clothes, allowing them to reflect her without overshadowing her. This is the essence of true style, when what you wear feels so innately you that it becomes inseparable from your identity. Gainsbourg embodies this effortlessly. She reminds us that fashion isn't about imitation or aspiration. It's about self-expression, about feeling at home in one's own skin, about dressing in a way that feels as natural as breathing.